Hello, welcome to day 11 of the 12 days of stamp sets here at Meggie Moos Creations. Today I'm going to be using Lawn Fawns Cheery Christmas stamp set. So I'm going to be revisiting the very first Christmas card that I made. I'm going to make some tweaks, make it a little bit different, and we do have a different sized card base this time. So this one is a square one. So I'm going to, instead of using unicorns, I'm going to be using these deers and this little bird to help decorate the tree. It's going to be stamped pretty much straight onto the card rather than using patterned paper or anything, just because that way I can get more on there without having, because I don't have the dies for these, I don't need to cut every little tiny detail out. But yeah, I'm gonna go to voiceover and get started. So I'm starting by taking some patterned paper and just making, just sticking some to the bottom of this card to make like just a little piece at the bottom so that it's not all purely stamped flat images. This card, I have an idea. I want it to be all just on one level, but no foam tape used, just nice and simple, fully stamped and coloured. And so I take this snowflake kind of paper and I just stick it to the bottom of the card just to make it so there is something else there. And then I take my images. At this point I still didn't really know what I wanted to do, so kind of by the end, it's because I don't have the die cuts for this particular stamp set, so I have to cut the images out by hand and it can be quite long and quite tedious, and I'd left my two stamp sets for day 11 and day 12 because of this reason. And so I decided that I was just going to do a flat card because I'd then still have to do another one where I cut it out. So I decided to do a single dimension card, and I'm just taking my images now and using my Memento Tuxedo black ink to ink up the images and stamp them onto my card base. I think that it turned out quite nice actually. The Memento ink is really nice and it just works really nicely together. So I stamp out a little star at the top of the tree. And I just carry on stamping out my images, some little chains or strips so that the baubles can hang off of. And then I stamp the baubles on all four of the remaining branches so that the tree is decorated. I take the deer images, the male and the female, and I stamp them on either side so it looks like they're looking at the tree rather than away from the tree. I think that these guys are really cute and it works really well because then it looks like they're all decorating the tree together. In this stamp set you do also get two squirrels and a bird. I used the bird, but I didn't use the squirrels in this card today. I do like the squirrels and I have used them before, but because my card bases are smaller than what I normally have, so I didn't end up using them. I stamped the little bird to look like he's putting the star at the top of the tree because no one else can reach. I think it's at this point that I realised that I'm still filming, but I wasn't supposed to be filming. I thought I had stopped it, but clearly I hadn't. Okay, so now I'm just taking some stars and I'm just stamping them on the background in the empty space. I've taken an open star and I take a solid black star. Well, I take a solid star and I stamp it in black so that it fills up the edges a bit more. And now it looks like a full card rather than just emptiness. So I'm just taking my watercolour colouring pencils and I'm just colouring the little bird in blue. In a light blue colour, like a blue jay. I like them, they're cool. I colour the Christmas baubles in red and green. I colour the stars in yellow, as well as the deer's hooves and the male deer's antlers. I'm trying to be careful because the ink's still a little bit wet. I did blot it, but actually if you look at the card, it is still wet and there are some smudges around. It's not too bad, but if I'd let it dry for longer, it would have been better. So now I'm just colouring it in the tiny little stars. And his antlers. I think the hooves are next because I like to do the hooves in yellow, especially when the rest of the deer's bodies are brown. And normally I colour in the hooves of unicorns yellow because I do their manes like a pastel colour. So I'm just colouring the deers in now, making them look all nice. I do a darker brown for the tops of their head and a lighter brown down the rest of their body so that it's sort of like a bit of a gradient as you go down. And then this is the finished card. Apart from, I then realised I didn't do a sentiment, so I just add "Have a Cheery Christmas" at the bottom. I knew that that would come in useful, that little strip. And then yeah, this is pretty much it. Thanks for watching, You can find us on Patreon, Etsy, Instagram and Facebook. Give us a subscribe and a like for this video. Thanks a lot. Bye.